Most of you know me as a kind of a conservative, independent guy, but I'm friends with so many different people. How boring would life be if all your friends were just like you? My interviews are with people that I think are interesting. I like variety in life. Life is too short to just hang with your own little narrow tribe. I love talking to people. I want you to feel like you're an eavesdropper on a conversation between me and the other person. That's how I conduct my interviews. They're more like conversations. Let me introduce you to my friends. I'll introduce you and then we'll just start. Well, good day, my friends. Thank you for joining us. I'm talking with my friend Deborah Twiss today. And we're going to be talking about several topics. And as always, I'm always interested in your feedback and your comments about the interview or any questions that you might have for Deborah. You can always put them in the comments section and she can take a look at them herself. So welcome to the show, Deborah.
Thanks for having me, George. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah, this is awesome. So what's new with you? Well, give it, you know what, before what's new, let's give my audience your story, your background.
Okay, let me do the Reader's Digest version of this.
Yes.
So I came to New York to study acting at NYU, quickly realized that I also wanted to be a filmmaker because that was the way to like fast track myself into doing the things that I wanted to do instead of giving my power away to agents, managers, directors, whatever. Throughout the 90s, I was making movies and I worked dancing topless in strip clubs while I did that. That's how I financed my movies. And then I got married, had some kids, moved to New Jersey, kept making movies, doing a lot of different things. And all right. So anyway, when I throughout, like, I guess it was after 9/11, I started to see that like all these crazy, awful film festivals were popping up everywhere. It's like every single block in Manhattan has like some D or X level film festival that's like, you know, in a basement or some pizza parlor or whatever, the back room of a bar, bowling alley. And it was just like, oh, I don't really want to be part of this anymore because like it wasn't the way it was in the 90s. A lot of things changed after 9/11. And so I kept making my movies, though, and getting things distributed. And I started to realize after I did the last couple of things that it was becoming more difficult as a filmmaker to make money back. So I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? First of all, like I found a really amazing way to make things for super low budget with names and make it really good. So I last year shot this entire first season of the strip club show, Crazy Town, which is based on crazy adventures that I had in the 90s when I was dancing. And that was an amazing experience, making the show and all of that. And then I also have this supernatural kind of like post-apocalyptic type of drama called A Beautiful Distraction. And I have 8 more episodes of that ready to be done. I have the pilot, like I said. But I realized that I let these things go to be with a sales rep for a while. And he took it to all the big guys and everything else. And they're like, oh, this is great, you know, but, you know, we need more episodes, or we need this, or we need that. And finally, I just thought, you know, what have I always done? If I needed something, I create it. If I need a role, I create the role. If I want a movie made, I'll go and I'll make the movie. If I want to be in a series, I'll create a series. So I was like, okay, I need to have a platform. How can I create a platform? And so I did. And I created this thing called Planet Twisted TV. And because I had so many great adventures in the 90s with all these great film festivals, especially in Europe, I know a lot of good filmmakers and producers and things like that overseas. And they're all helping to contribute their work to Planet Twisted TV. And even one of my distributors for a movie that I made called A Cry from Within, Breaking Glass, they're going to have Breaking Glass is going to have 10 of their films on the platform. And we're just kind of picking up steam, and it's really great. And then in the midst of all of this, I'm a writer, and I'm a good writer. I'm definitely a good screenwriter.
You are a good writer.
Thank you. I think there's a dog coming up the stairs, and I think a fight is about to break out through the door. So hold 1 second. Yeah.
We're keeping it real here.
This is
totally unscripted.
Yeah.
This is
this is the real reality television.
Stop, everybody, freeze. I made a film called Confidence Game, and when I was in pre-production for that, my casting director Donna McKenna had put out an offer to Antonio Sapato Jr. This was back in 2013, and he read the script, he loved it, he was all in, and at the time he had certain reps that wanted a certain price for his salary, and when I actually got budget, it was not going to be enough to have him. So we cast other people, and it all ended up great. But I guess he had remembered that I wrote this great script that he loved so much. So I guess it was about a month ago. I was talking to someone on the phone, and another call was coming in, and it said Antonio Sapato Jr. And I was like, that's weird. I haven't heard from this guy in 7 years. So I was like, he probably butt dialed me. I'm not going to even answer it. And I got off the call, and then he texted me, and he said, Deb, hey, it's Antonio. Give me a call. And I was like, this is weird. What's going on? And so I gave him a call, and he's like, hey, so I've got this great idea for a script, and I remembered you did this amazing thing that, didn't work out at the time in 2013, but I would love it if you would come and be the screenwriter for my new movie called Trailblazers. And I've got all these great people that, were famous in like the 80s and the 90s from TV, and then they just kind of fell out of favor with Hollywood. He didn't go into any detail or anything like that, and he told me what the basic premise was, and I was like, wow, it's basically like Star Wars and that animated series Avatar in the Old West. And I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up. I'm like, that's right up my alley. So cool. Totally like so fun. I love it. And immediately I was getting inspired, and I had all these great ideas. So, I was like, yeah, sign me up. Well, fast forward to, I guess, a couple of nights ago, I was talking to an old friend online. He's an Emmy Award-winning soap writer who's extremely liberal. I'm neither. I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm completely independent, and I will, listen to everyone, listen to all sides. I never want to feel hatred or
That's one of the things I've always liked about you, is that you've always flowed with me. I know I tend to be independent, conspiracy theorist, and I'll get a response from you, like a little smiley face, and I'm like, all right, she gets it, And so we're on the same page in that way. I totally understand.
So, when I agreed to do this film with Antonio, I didn't go and do a background check on what his political leanings were. To me, that doesn't matter. If someone has a good heart and they're a good person and they take good care of their family and they do right by everyone, that's all I care about. Don't hurt animals or children. It's pretty simple. My code is pretty clear. But I was reprimanded by this friend of mine to the point where he was like, I saw this post on Facebook, and the cast, they're all conservative, they're all Trump supporters, and do you realize that you are basically working for white supremacist Nazis, and if you're working for white supremacist Nazis, then you're a white supremacist Nazi yourself? And I was like, whoa, dude, I am the last person. I mean, I fostered a kid. I give money to things. I will help anyone. I love human beings. I love animals. I love it was so shocking, and it felt like someone had stabbed me in the gut. And he's like, it's your responsibility to check out what people are about before you work with them. And I was like, listen, I am on the group, the cast list, group text of this feature with, all these people that you label as conservative, and maybe they are in the world, but nobody has ever said anything about politics or hatred or racism. Nobody is they're not talking about anything bad at all. Everything is about family and love and hope and creativity. And I mean, it's everything that, I like and what I look for in just other people. And it would be so wrong to try to find fault in these people that haven't done anything to hurt me or incite any kind of response. It was ridiculous. And then I was told that basically if I went and I worked on something like this, then I would probably never work in the industry again. So I was like, well, what do I do? I mean, it was such a blow. And just let it stew inside of me all night. And then when I woke up the next morning, I meditate every morning and, all that kind of stuff. I do EFT and program my day and a lot of good stuff. And so in the meditation, I was like, well, in my heart, what do I want to do? And I was like, I love this script and I really like these people and I don't want to let them down because of something that somebody else has said to me, that doesn't want me to work with them or doesn't want me to help them when they've not done anything to me. So in my heart and in my soul, what is right? It's like, what's right is to do this script. And I thought, okay, well, am I willing to be in a position where maybe I'm never allowed to work again in this industry? And I thought, well, if one of the rules is that me having to like shun people that have done nothing wrong to me is one of the rules, then maybe I don't want to be part of that industry. Maybe I just don't want to be part of it. And if it means like I don't ever get to act again in some like, as some co-star or guest star on some dumb TV show on a network, who cares? Who cares?
Right.
It's like one day for what? Half the time they cut you out anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And like once I took back my power and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna honor my heart. I'm gonna honor my creativity and these new people that have embraced my creativity and the story that I want to create for them. That has nothing political. There is nothing political in this story. It's the battle between good and evil. I mean, if somebody wants to interpret that as political, that's their issue. That's not mine. And so that's the point I'm at right now. And like I'm more dedicated than ever to creating this platform, Planet Twisted, which is all like these cutting edge, interesting indies from all over the world, continuing with my own creations and just living a happy life with my kids, my animals. There's so many wonderful things in this world. I will not spend 1 minute on hate. I won't. Even if somebody's like putting a gun to my head saying like, well, you're supposed to hate this person because they, supposedly think this thing. If I have not seen that, if I have not experienced that firsthand, I'm not gonna practice hate. I'm not gonna do it. So.
Yeah, I find that those that preach tolerance are the least tolerant. And I think I shared with you when you kind of reached out to me the other night and shared the story with me. I think my response was, what do you want to do? Do you want to work or do you want to fall in line with the Gestapo who is trying to control your life? And as a creative myself, my goal is to work. I want to work. I don't necessarily check out people's philosophies and if I experience love and care and friendliness from somebody, I'm cool with that. 100% cool with that. I know the people who are going to be in this film. I know you. How can it go wrong? I mean, honestly, you've got a good thing going, and I think you defended yourself properly.
The best defense at this point is making an amazing, amazing film that the world will embrace and see that, there is so much more to these people than the labels that have been put on them falsely. Yeah. And I talked to Antonio about this yesterday, and I told him the whole story. And I said, I'm more committed than ever to making this the great film that it's supposed to be. And I, when I told him everything that had happened the prior night, he said that he's not, the videos of him having this support thing were back in 2016. He said he hasn't talked about politics since, and none of the other people that are in the cast, they don't want to talk about politics. They're like, you know what? Yeah. It's a shit show. Why even talk about it? You can't win. Yeah. It's just not.
Nobody
it's not
wins.
Worth it. No, not at all. Yeah. Especially with the environment, the climate that we're in right now. It's not worth it at all. But that's also why, I don't want to be that person that goes in and does a background check on someone. I'm not going to do it.
You don't need to participate in that. Is Dean Cain going to be in this?
Yes, he's playing the villain.
How about Kevin Sorbo? Will he be in it?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, the cast is amazing that I saw.
It is. Scott Baio, Stacey Dash. Who else? It's a long list. He assembled a great group of people. And I mean, like I said, I'm even getting alerts right now from the group text. They're all just good people. They're all working
Yeah.
out, eating well, they're meditating. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you know, there's a lot of the things in this film have like Native American spirituality, Asian spirituality, like all this stuff that wouldn't be labeled necessarily as like conservative or so. These labels seriously need to go away already. I'm
Yeah.
really, I think we're reaching this this pitch right now where it's all just about to explode. I mean, people's
Yeah.
minds are just gonna like be blown because it's too much. It's just too much to like have to like keep up. Wait, am I supposed to like this person? Am I not supposed to like this person? And am I supposed to wear a mask or not wear a mask, or look up or
Yeah.
look down or smile at a
Yeah.
stranger or not smile at a stranger? It's like, ah. What do you want to
So
do? How do you feel?
I want to ask my audience, I'll ask them, what do they think if you were asked to participate in a film that had actors in it that had more conservative values? My subscribers, what would you do if you were told that you may never work again in the field if you participate in this? And does that describe what happened? Pretty much, like
in a
you
nutshell,
won't work
yeah.
in the field.
Yep. Like when I talked to Antonio about it, he said that like him and all the people that are in the cast, yes, they have not been allowed to work. They were all like let go by their managers and agents, and they have not been able to book work since they showed any support whatsoever for the right. And whatever, I literally don't want to have any kind of political. I don't believe in our system anymore. I don't believe in it. I think the two-party system is a sham. I think there are bigger things in play than what we think is our vote. I mean, I'm a total conspiracy theorist completely, and
I think that's where you and I really connect. Yeah.
yeah. But let that label be my label more than
Yeah.
I'm not left or right. I am apolitical. I don't believe in it, and so that's
Nobody owns you.
No. And I will listen to everything you see. Like there's other things going on we don't even know. We're the masses. We're the sheeple. So they don't care. So they
You're
think.
right. Tell me about Planet Twisted.
Planet Twisted is the platform where I'm acquiring independent, cutting-edge things from all over the world, short films, features, that kind of stuff, things that, wouldn't be Disney material, so they wouldn't be Netflix. There's a lot of great stuff that's on Amazon Prime, but as a filmmaker, you will never, ever, ever make money. I think you get like 10 cents per view or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like maybe 1 million people see it, but still, where are you at then? It's difficult. So with the way the platform is constructed, my thing, it's almost like Kim's Video type of style where people go in and for a lot of there's a lot of stuff to see for free, but a lot of the things are rented. And so, you rent something for 72 hours and the bulk of the money goes to the filmmaker directly. So like filmmakers can actually make, money back.
Yeah.
And hopefully if it gains enough momentum and everything and people are renting globally, which a lot of the pilot for A Beautiful Distraction has already been getting purchases from Asia, probably the bootleg, but whatever, Europe, South America, like all over the place, all over the United States. And, if we can get this big enough and people can really watch a lot of these cool indies, these filmmakers will be able to make money. And it makes me really happy because as a filmmaker, you almost never get to see back what you spent, ever.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So why not make something that's special,
Yeah. I seem to like the concept of actors who were well known. A lot of people say B-list, but when I hear the phrase B-list, that's more of that sounds like an insult, because there are people who were A-list, people who we all know, who slowed down. They might have taken an early retirement, but the talent is still there. They might be a little bit grayer. They might have a more mature look on their face. And I love it. I love it when we resurrect. I don't even know if resurrect is the right word, but when we bring back older, talented experienced people. I think it's kind of thrilling. Give me some names of people who you've directly worked with, and I know my audience will know these people.
Eric Roberts, of course, Kathy Moriarty, Robert Vaughn. He was in Cry from Within. James McCaffrey, Sean Young. Robert Clohessy is still on Blue Bloods, but he's been around forever. Who else? Oh, Robert Finaro. He was in Sopranos. Vivica Fox. That was cool. And nice. She's still on Empire. Adrian Paul. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that whole show. Beautiful Distraction. Yeah, Adrian Paul. Yeah, I think that's like the bulk of it. Good people though, and they're so fun, and oh my God, the talent. Jeez, it's crazy. And that's another thing.
Talent doesn't disappear as you get older.
It gets better. It gets more. Yes. The more life experience people have, the better. And yes. The one thing that I really want, because I'm over 40, and I am not ashamed of that. I'm actually really happy because I've always taken really good care of myself, and I believe in natural health and fasting and great coffee and a French press, all that good stuff. So I really want, with Planet Twisted as well, to bring movies that are more about, everybody isn't in their 20s. These are hot, sexy, interesting movies where most of the people are over 30.
Yeah.
And I, there's a whole thing that's happening in the United States now that was going on in Europe forever, where, people over 40, over 50, over 60 even, are considered sexual and interesting and multidimensional. It's not like, you hit 40 and all of a sudden you're a grandparent the way you are in Hollywood. I mean, I've I'll never forget, there was a movie that I was in a few years ago. I don't even remember the name of it. I block things out selectively. But I was hired to play the mother, and I was 35 at the time, and the girl that was playing my daughter was 28. And I was like, so typical. It's so typical. I mean, come on, give me a break. And even the makeup girl was like, there's no way you could be her mother. And I'm like, I know, whatever.
So are you ready for the grandmother roles soon?
Of course. I would imagine.
How is the older, mature, seasoned Deborah different than the 20 years ago Deborah?
I am so much more direct. I see so clearly that there's no time to pussyfoot around with people, pretend something that's going wrong is okay. It's, I hear in my head all the time that little sign that they put up on the subways shortly after 9/11. If you see something, say something. I live by that. If I see something, I say something. Just like this thing with, the being shamed into not writing the script for Antonio Sabato Jr. I, rather than hiding, a couple people were like, just don't say anything and do it secretly. I'm like, screw that. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say, this is an issue. And this is something that we all need to look at and acknowledge and realize, people shouldn't be stopped from creating because other people deem them unworthy. No, no. So the me that I am now, I don't take shit. I don't. And
I know you don't.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I am nice. I'm a nice person. My first instinct always with everyone, even the guy that pumps my gas, who I know people by name, you know what I mean? And I love them. And I'm like, I love when I see Dave, this big older guy who's really cool. And I'm like, hey Dave, I need to fill it up. Okay. And then we have a little chit chat. I love people. I love human beings, and I love meeting people and exchanging ideas, all that kind of stuff. And, if that can just be the focus, that's excellent. But people, when they see that I'm nice and I'm sweet and I'm loving, they think that they can take advantage. And the second they try to slip in something that's not right, they're not expecting me to bring the guillotine down. They're just not.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like
your
that.
Kindness. Your kindness gets mistaken for weakness.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What would you say to people who would say that a woman hits the wall at 28 years old?
I'd say they're
And
stupid.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I think you've proven that a woman can age really well. Now, you take care of yourself, you get your sleep, you're a mom, you have a household, the family, you rescue animals. I mean, you kind of got this 1955 housewife thing going on, but yet there's this other side of you that's just really progressive and out there and being a great example for other women.
Thank you. I am. I mean, I want to be. There's a couple sweet girls that are in their 20s that I kind of mentor in a way on through Facebook Messenger. Like anytime they're having a hard time, they write to me and they're like, "Deb, what am I going to do? This really sucks." And I'm like, "Take a deep breath. You know, sometimes life sucks. Get on with it. It's good. Empower yourself." Um, and there is a darker side. Like I like darker things. I like dark movies. I mean, I'm in the new Tom Six movie that can't get distribution because it's so freaking dark, but it's so accurate. Have you heard of this film, The Onania Club?
No, tell
Oh,
me.
so Tom Six is the guy that did The Human Centipede, all of them, you know, and he's
That's all you needed to say was Human Centipede, because I did a
Oh.
Human Centipede marathon, I don't know, about a year ago, and I was speechless for about 2 days after, and I thought, that's pretty darn bold. And I do have a lot of indie film lovers in my audience, so they will know what we're talking about.
Well, I guess it was 2016. I went to LA for a month. They knew me from they're from Amsterdam, the Tom Six group. Him and his sister. They make movies together. And my film A Gun for Jennifer had played in all over Europe, and so they had seen that and they knew me from that. So they called me. I did an interview by FaceTime, and then I flew out to LA for all of November in 2016. And we shot this amazing movie called The Onania Club, and it's not like Human Centipede. It's a psychological, dark thriller about this group of wealthy LA women who literally get off. They masturbate watching devastating things on TV, telling each other stories about plane crashes, that kind of thing. And it's such like when I heard the concept, I was like, this is literally the world we live in. Like people are just like, you know, they're like watching the TV, waiting for something horrible that they can like, you know, get all juicy in. And so anyway, it's a really, really well done film. I really liked it, and he cannot get it distributed because people, like distributors, are terrified to like put it out because of like the ramifications. And I'm like, dude, put it on Planet Twisted. You can have all the money. I don't care. I just think it needs to be shown because this is exactly what's going on right now. But it's good and it's really dark. I mean, it's really dark. Like the things that I do in that film are so dark because the women like they get bored with just listening to the news, so they like invent situations where they can bring misery to other people's lives so that they can go back and tell the women in the Onania Club what they did, tell the story, and then they can all like masturbate and like get off on like the horror of what they've done. It's crazy.
You know,
but think
it's almost
about
like it's almost a metaphor about what's happening in the world. We put on, you know, what the old news people used to say, if it bleeds, it leads. And that's what it reminds me of. The news is not about good things happening. And the news has to constantly outdo itself with the bizarreness of the news stories. So this is basically taking it to its logical conclusion.
I agree completely. Yeah. And it's, I mean, he ended up taking the color out and made it into black and white. So it's got this really like gritty noir kind of feel.
Very noir,
Yeah, I like it. I think it's really good, and I think it says so much. And the actresses that I worked with, oh my God, they were so great. Like we still talk to each other, we text each other all the time, and it was years ago. But I really do hope the movie comes out somehow because it's needed in the world. Like people need to see like have everything put in their face. It's a mirror. It's basically a mirror about what's going on.
It's a mirror.
Yeah.
What is the favorite role that you've ever had?
actually in the new series that I created called The Beautiful Distraction, because there's so much of ancient aliens, ancient Greek history, conspiracy theory stuff woven into the script and into this character. And I love what the potential is of what might be able to be communicated to an audience through that character, and the journey of her empowerment.
Cool. What would be your ideal role for the future?
I really want to be a superhero. I just want to be a superhero. And I've even had fantasies of going out. This was before the pandemic. I want to get like a cool superhero outfit, and, you know, eye mask, not my not my mouth covered, my eyes covered, and go out on the streets of Manhattan and, like, you know, help old ladies and children and animals and homeless people and stuff, but like completely anonymous. Just like go out and do good deeds and like become, like, you know, kind of like, I mean, how funny is it that I was in Kick-Ass, and, you know, but I want to be Dave. I want to be Kick-Ass or Hit Girl, you know. I want to be that. I want to be that character, like, you know, a real superhero, somebody that, you know, gets the outfit and then goes out and does good.
Oh, that's pretty good. Well, you'll have to send me pictures of the outfit for my approval. So,
deal.
what advice would you give to anyone wanting to enter in the industry?
That's a tough one at this point. Make sure you're doing it for the art. That's the key. If you are in it to get famous, go be an Instagrammer. It's I've met so many people that, you know, their biggest concern is about becoming famous. And it's like, if you think it's about that, then you're definitely not doing the right thing. If you have like a story, like, you've got to find what it is that is in your heart that you want to communicate with the world. That is the key. And if you've got this burning desire of like ideas and emotions and things that you want to share with the world so that they don't feel like they're alone, that's what you need to focus on. But if you focus on like, oh, everybody's going to look at me, everybody, you know, when I was like 3 years old and I stood up on the table and I danced and everybody clapped, you know, it felt really good. It's like, that's not what it's about. If you're in it for approval, then you need to like do major therapy. You don't need to be in the industry. Uh-oh, you froze.
Are we back to? All right, is it working now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. Well, I think that's really good advice for people. Do it for the art, not to get famous. I think what happens is when you seek fame, something happens to your soul, and it's not a good thing.
Absolutely. And you know, so many people, that is the key. They're like, I want to be rich and famous. It's like, well, but what kind of work do you want to do? I want to be the star. It's like, well, but that doesn't say what kind of character you want to be or what you want to communicate. Like, it's got to be like something that is such a burning desire. You need to be able to like sacrifice so much to pursue the path of creativity. And also, you know, there's another thing that I've noticed. There's so many people that think, you know, actors, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to live off my art. Even famous actors, people that are living off, that you think are living off their art, they have like, you know, like, look at Jessica Alba. She's got like this whole like baby care line. Or, you know, people that have restaurants or bars or like own property or whatever. There's always some other thing that's going on. Or they have a spouse that has like a normal salary, a normal job. It's never just about, you know, oh, well, I'm going to live off this and that's it. 'Cause, I mean, if you talk to any, you know, what is viewed as a successful writer, director, actor, whatever, you know, everyone is just living job to job. There's that constant fear of like, well, oh my God, after this, I may never work again. Everybody feels that way, regardless of whether you're just starting out or you're like, you know, Meryl Streep. They all feel that. That's like the one thing that's common. And it's really interesting.
Well, people can Google you and they're going to end up with a visual extravaganza. But where would you like them? Where would you like them to find you?
At Planet Twisted TV or DeborahTwissActress.com or Facebook, and that's me. I don't have a fan page or anything like that. I always thought that.
New film gets underway. Join me again and let's talk about it. And maybe end up doing a 3-way with Antonio.
That would be great. He'd love that.
We will promote this film long before finished. Yeah, we could do that.
Awesome.
That would be fun.
Cool. And in the meantime, please promote A Beautiful Distraction in Crazy Town. I would love for people to see A Beautiful Distraction, because also the rental fee goes directly into the fund to create more episodes.
Okay.
And I've got 8 episodes ready to shoot. The scripts are ready.
Make sure that I have those links, and I'll post them below the video, and people can do that. That would be awesome.
Awesome.
Cool. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it, and stay in touch, and I will do the same.
Thank you so much, George. It was great talking to you. And you look great. I love the way you've cut your beard right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Talk to you soon.
Sounds great. All right. Bye.